Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. It's me Gamerturk and this is my first impressions on Accel World vs Sword Art Online Millennium Twilight. When a new game I'm interested in comes out, I tend to do a first impressions video to get my initial thoughts out quick to help you guys decide whether it's worth it, and I do a full review after I completely finish the game. So far, only 4 parts of Accel World vs SAO is up on my channel, but I am much more ahead than what you see live, since I limit myself to 2 uploads per day, so I can say I have a pretty good understanding of the game at this point, enough to get my first impressions out there. And let's start with the story, obviously featuring no spoilers for a first impressions video, so no need to worry. The game instantly opens with an episode that gets things started with a bang, unlike the previous games, while Accel World vs SAO starts with a huge conflict and an event that impacts characters very personally, making you feel attached to the story from the get-go and makes you want to progress instantly rather than an introductory session that was present in the previous games. That is kind of a weird choice for a game that has double the cast Lost Song had, with half of them being completely new characters for you unless you are following Accel World as well, but I feel like it was the better choice. Introducing 40 characters before getting on with the story would be the doom of this game. Instead, they introduce characters as you progress more into the story and little by little making sure you get enough time to understand who those characters are. I also mentioned this before, but the story is very personal for the protagonists, at least for Kirito and Asuna. Meanwhile, Kuroyukihime and the Accel World cast are trying to figure out what caused this time rift, bringing them from 2040s back to 2020s, and also Hime's pride makes the opening a personal issue for her too. The gameplay is pretty much what we have expected, developed by Arting, the developers of Lost Song. You probably saw this coming throughout the various trailers. Accel World vs SAO is an upgraded Lost Song. From the trailers, I had the impression that this whole game could have been an expansion for Lost Song instead of a standalone game. But playing it creates a different impression. Not that so much has changed, but so much have been polished and improved. The movement feels more natural. My biggest gripe with skill usage in Lost Song has been addressed with the skills that feel much more powerful thanks to the good use of presentation like effects and camera angles. You can now switch between your party members during gameplay instead of having to go back to the town to switch your main character. The battle is much more fluid, especially with the addition of the switch mechanic, and I'm saying addition despite knowing it was also present in Lost Song, but let's be honest, it was totally useless in Lost Song, while it is implemented well here with a decent tutorial explaining the advantages as well, mainly the double damage bonus of course. There is also skill connect in the game. You can chain various sword skills after each other to boost your damage multiplier, making the combat more fluid than it was in Lost Song. And then there is the Accel World cast, who are not fairies, so they cannot really fly, except for Silver Crow, but can jump really high and keep hovering as they keep attacking. They essentially work the same with alterations to fit their non-flight dual avatars. With story and gameplay out of the way, let's get to the supporting elements. Graphics look gorgeous and the game plays with a solid 60 frames per second most of the time on PlayStation 4, unless there is too much going on the screen or the initial start of in-game cutscenes for some reason. That'll probably get patched sometime along the way. The maps so far have been the ones we had in Lost Song. I have played through Voglinde and Flosshilde and a short portion of Nibelheim so far, but they are altered as the Accelerated World is merging with Alfheim Online. We also get to see parts of Accelerated World as we teleport there from time to time, which is a nice little change of pace. Music is decent at most, I'd say, nothing too special. Chill music like Hub World and Dicey Cafe remind me of my good old days back in MapleStory for some reason. And I am sad to say that the music overall has a distinct Accel World tune to it rather than being a mesh of both Accel World and Sword Art Online. I would have preferred a better mix between the two rather than having Accel World tunes dominant throughout the music. I am glad to say that CG images are miles ahead of that lackluster art quality back in Lost Song. They are crisp and clear and detailed, just like they were in Hollow games, which deserves the praise. The opening is one of the most beautiful intros in the whole series, not just limited to SAO games. I'm serious, it can easily compete with the SAO and Accel World anime opening, it is that good. But where this game shines is once again the dialogues and the voice acting. What Hollow games never got was the fact that SAO is a highly interactive cast, and when you have still images on the screen up to 3 characters, you can't really benefit from that aspect. Giving it some movement and having more of them on screen, including Kirito himself, makes things much more enjoyable in this game in my opinion. It's kind of annoying that Accel World dual avatars only have a single sprite, but thankfully they also switch back to their personal avatars where they have facial expressions and a more varied sprite set. And the voice acting, oh the voice acting. This is why I prefer Japanese dubs. I don't want to invalidate the English cast, yes they are good, but the Japanese VAs really have an incredible passion, as if they truly live in this world as their respective characters. Like, you can hear how personal things are from Kirito's and Asuna's voice, you can hear how serious Hime is, how calm and tranquil Skyraker is, how great Ashroller and Klein get along, and not from the lines they were given to speak, but from their voice tone instead, which is what makes Japanese VAs so superior in my opinion. And yes, the games are only available in Japanese dub. At this point, you should have gotten used to that. But that is all for my first impressions video. If you enjoy this, likes are always appreciated. If you have further questions, I will answer them down in the comments. Subscribe for more Accel World vs Sword Art Online, and if you enjoy my content, you can check my Patreon page in the description and support my channel there and get exclusive benefits on my channel by doing so. You can find me on facebook.com/Gamerturk and on Twitter @Gamerturk95, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.